So now we turn our attention back to Minimax, and here is your starting grid for the final on day one. After a comfortable victory by 4.55 seconds, Mateo Radenkovic starts from pole position ahead of the number 108 of Mies Huben, who lines up alongside on the front row. Dave Stevens and Lawrence Herbols rounds out the top four positions in the 182 and the 198 ahead of Mats van Rooyen. In the 103, Jake Menton in the 131, the 122 of Lars Lambers, the 134 of Kaz Tobin, and the 138 of Latvia's Bruno Brazelis. So that completes the 9-strong grid. Radenkovic in the first race today was able to pull a comfortable gap. So after this, they'll have two more races, as will Micromax tomorrow. And then we see the real picture of who will be crowned our 2021 champion. And they've already got things slowed down. Kaz Tobin this time was able to get to the back of the grid last time. This time the engine fired up with no assistance required. So we have 9 Minimax drivers in position, ready to go racing. They're now out of turn number 11. So with Radenkovic, this could be another step closer. Can Mies Huben do something about it? Because we're about to find out. Into the tram lines, revs rise. Are we ready? Full start, first one of the meeting called. So full start called. Race director not 100% happy with that one. So we reset the timer back to 13 minutes. Go again. Right then, second time of asking. They're back into formation once more as they head into turn number 12 once again. Radenkovic on pole, Huben alongside. They split, go into the tram lines, revs rise. Are we ready? This time it's a clean start, and it's a great one from Mateo Radenkovic. And Dave Stevens trying to go up the inside of Mies Huben into turn 2 for the first time of asking. But Huben gets away, and oh, that was spirited. Was that Mats van Rooyen, as we've already had someone go off? Now, was that the leader? Was that Radenkovic? Was that Radenkovic that has just slipped away from the lead? I'm not 100% sure. I don't think that is the case. But if that is, that has changed. It's put another twist in the tail, hasn't it? As someone's gone off, going through, and has used the cut through. on turn number 7. So they're coming through into turn 10. Who's leading the way? It is the 182 of Tay Stevens. So it was Radenkovic that went off the track, and Radenkovic is in 8th position. Mies Huben is now in 3rd, behind Lawrence Herboz. So Tay Stevens takes the advantage. Huben up the inside, and now the youngster from the Netherlands knows this is his chance to go for a victory. He kept the likes of Tay Stevens at bay for the majority of the previous race. So he now has a chance if they can close on him. But the way that unfolded, Radenkovic went wide coming out of turn 4. And Van Rooyen in the 103 is down in 9th. So that has all been turned upside down and shaken around like a sand timer. As Brazelis, the Latvian, trying to keep ahead of Jake Menton, who's got Kaz Tobin in the 134 just behind. And Radenkovic is now fired up. He's definitely closing on those in front. And Tobin is trying to go side by side with Jake Menton, and Menton goes to the inside of Brazelis, and Tobin goes through as well. Radenkovic could have had an idea of maybe going up the inside, but did the right thing there and stayed out of it. He could have gone for the move and could have taken Brazelis out by accident, as Brazelis up the inside of Kaz Tobin. And now it's all about musical chairs right now, as Radenkovic goes to the inside of Kaz Tobin and mugs Tobin and Brazelis through turn 7. That was inspired, ruthless, aggressive driving there from Matej Radenkovic. So we've got just over 10 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. Let me just say this. It's definitely heating up here at Karting Genk, and forget about the ambient air temperature. Tay Stevens now leads them onto lap number 4. And Mies Huben has gone quickest of anybody. 1 minute, 0.0251. 1 minute, 0.251, my apologies there. So 60.25 for the youngster, and is 0.76 away from the race leader. And is bringing along Lawrence Herboz. Radenkovic, I think now, is currently sitting in, I would hazard a guess, Matej Radenkovic now up into P4. Make that P5 with Jake Menton actually just in front. So we'll see what happens as Radenkovic up the inside of Menton through into turn 10. So it is going to be P4 there for Radenkovic. So lap 4 completed. Tay Stevens leads the way. Mies Huben in second. Lawrence Herboz rounds out the top 3. Radenkovic, having ended up going off at turn 4 and rally crossing, has now made it past Jake Menton. So Menton now has to reside himself with the fact that I'm not going to catch up with Matej Radenkovic, am I? No, you're not, I'm afraid. And Radenkovic now has a bit of clean air. And what does that mean? Hopefully, a little bit of lap time comes his way, because Mies Huben is he's got one big €64,000 question to answer right now. And it'll be a case of, I need to pull Lawrence behind me, along with me, to catch up with Tay Stevens. And then when it's 3 for the lead, Huben will be piggy in the middle. And what that will mean is that he'll have to make a decision. Do I defend or do I attack? If you do one or the other, you can sometimes expose a chink in your armour. And that's not what a racing driver wants to do at the best of times, especially when it's in karting and it is close. A little bit further back, Bruno Brazelis has slotted into 7th position and is ahead of Lars Lambros and Mats van Rooyen. As Herboz going on the offensive with Huben. Cap last time around. And Radenkovic has hit the 59s, 59.580, and has got the gap down at the completion of the previous lap, lap number 5, to just over 1.5 seconds. And that gap, I think, is closing. I would hazard a guess. It's not assumptive, it's probably based on what I've seen from drivers before, and I think Radenkovic might have clawed maybe a couple of tenths back out of that lead. So Dave Stevens, Mies Huben, Lawrence Herbos, now Radenkovic. And Radenkovic is a second adrift, and he's gone fastest again. So he took the best part of nearly half a second. Actually, yeah, he's taken well over, that's over 5.5 tenths that Radenkovic has taken out of Lawrence Herbos on that last lap alone. I don't think it's without saying that the realms of possibility that maybe Radenkovic could get second at the very highest by the end of this race. So we go through to complete lap number 6 of this race. Dave Stevens, Mies Huben, Lawrence Herbos. Well, Lawrence Herbos didn't break the 60-second barrier, but Matej Radenkovic also did, and now has got the gap down by over half a second again. Radenkovic is on an absolute binge of speed right now, and Lawrence Herbos will now, if he looks over the left or the right shoulder, will then be able to see, right, who's that behind me? Oh, here we go. And Matej Radenkovic is just waiting in the wings to just try and get past. And it won't be long because they go into turn 10. I think Radenkovic will either do it of one of 3 places. Here through turn 11. No, Herbos shuts the door. Maybe into 12. No, he's going to wait until he comes out of turn 12, bury the throttle into the slipstream, and he's going to close, and it's already started, and he's up the inside. So Radenkovic up the inside of Herbos to cleanly take 3rd position with 4 minutes and 50 on the clock remaining. I don't think it's not just even second. If Radenkovic does this and picks up the victory, it's going to be one of the drives of the season. So with Radenkovic still all to play for. And now in the crosshairs sees Mies Huben. Just over 4 minutes to go. One thing that Matej Radenkovic has got is time. Very much on his side at the moment. The gap between Matej Radenkovic and Mies Huben last time around was 0.4 of a second. Radenkovic took the best part of nearly 4 tenths out of Mies Huben, and Huben now knows that Radenkovic is behind. Dave Stevens, I mean, the lap times that Radenkovic is putting in is off the charts. As they come across the line once again. And it's 0.184, Radenkovic waiting to try and get past Mies Huben. And this will effectively net Radenkovic if he stays where he is, and I'm sure he won't do. Radenkovic will get effectively 41 points. But through turn 7 once again they go. Into 8. now into the left-hand hairpin here at 9. It's getting even closer still because Mies Houben was just under 0.67 of a second behind Thijs Stevens last time around. Just under 2 minutes to go. And Radenkovic now does exactly the same manoeuvre that he did on Herbols a couple of laps ago. But Houben fights it in comparison with Herbols because Houben wants to keep a hold of that second place. But Radenkovic now has the leader in his sights. Radenkovic gunning for the victory. And time was on the 1:96's side from Buvin Power. Has given Radenkovic all the motivation that he's needed. Now the battle for the victory is really on. Mies Houben, as I said earlier, has been struggling with a hand injury, but has done everything he can to keep pace. A little bit further back, there is a battle between Mats van Rooyen in 7th with Kaz Tobben and Jake Menton as we cross the line with just under a minute remaining on the clock. So next time around, I've got a feeling that we're going to be onto the final lap of the race day for Minimax here on day 1. Radenkovic is, you can tell by the way he's driving now, he's really sizing up Thijs Stevens for a move. And it could be out of the final corner and into turns 1 and 2. That seems to be the sweet spot. And Radenkovic might try and go for that a little bit earlier. If he gets a good run going into turn 10, that can happen as well, because you get a little bit of a momentum pull through into the right-hander. But it's also, in the meantime, allowing Mies Houben to close. Last lap board is out. Timer hit 0. And who's going to get the victory? Radenkovic has to anticipate what Stevens is going to do, and Stevens anticipated what Radenkovic was going to do and went straight on the defensive. Through into 5 for the final time, and there's the move for the lead. Switchback, could that happen? Thijs Stevens, the wheels clash between the pair, and this could open the door for Mies Houben. Through 7 for the final time, through into turn number 8, come the top 3. And Mies Houben could have an opportunity not just at second, but maybe even the race victory. As Thijs Stevens goes defensive on Houben through turn number 10 for the final time. But what a turbulent race that's ended up on high for Matej Radenkovic. Off at turn 4 to the back end of the field, comes out of the final corner. He's done the double on day 1 as Matej Radenkovic. Second goes to Thijs Stevens, who held on to that lead for the majority of it when Radenkovic initially dropped the ball. Mies Houben takes P3. Laurens Herbols rounds out the top 4 positions on that race, with Jake Menton, Kaz Tobben, Mats van Rooyen, Lars Lambers and Bruno Brazelis rounding out the 9 strong. But Radenkovic, 2 wins. Tomorrow could be his day as he's done the double here in Genk on the penultimate race day of the season.